Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would give a quick update on the Hardy Grove. I'm standing at the grove out here in Greene County where there's no protection. I don't provide anything at all. Kind of give an update on what's going on, and what we're looking at here is my Ichang lemon. I grew this from seed about 25 years ago and planted it out here a couple of years after I started it from seed. It was maybe, 2 or 3 feet tall, about the diameter of a pencil when I planted it, and here it is all these years later. I don't think it's ever looked better than it does right now. A few years ago, at the recommendation of my friend Joe Levert in Augusta, started using some citrus spikes from the Lutz company, and I think it's made just a tremendous difference. I don't really do anything else for these citrus trees out here other than that. I fertilize them once a year in spring, usually around the middle of March, and that's about it. And they have just done just amazingly well. They've really responded to it. This one is on its own roots. As I said, I grew it from seed, so it took a long time to begin producing fruit. It took about 12 or 13 years, as I recall, and that's a long time. So if you're going to plant an Ichain lemon and you don't want to wait that long, I would definitely recommend that you grow one or get one either grown from cuttings or maybe a grafted plant. But here is some fruit, and you can see it hanging. Got a lot more up high. There we go. It did bloom a good bit. It didn't bloom at all last year after, and of course did not bloom after the Christmas freeze in 22. So it's kind of taken a couple of years off. It's got a fair amount of fruit, a good amount of fruit this year. And it looks like it kind of rebloomed. Ichang lemon is a little surprising because it tends to bloom on the interior of the plant like it's pomelo parent. So sometimes you don't really see the fruit until they start ripening or they get pretty big. It's easy to miss, and I keep finding more and more. You can see them up in there, and actually it looks like I've got a lot of fruit this year. You can see it in there and hanging up there. You can see a little bit of cold damage still lingering around from a couple of years ago, but the tree is recovered. It's not the first time that's happened. I guess it probably won't be the last. I wish it was, but anyway, that's what's going on with the Ichang lemon. So we'll continue on, and these are some trees I planted either last year or this year. This is a US 9. I'm sorry. This is a C-clam number 10, which I grew from seed. Hope it's true. I think it is. I grew a couple. They all look pretty consistent. I don't know if C-clam is monoembryonic or polyembryonic, but it's doing great. It's approaching 6 feet tall now. Got a nice little trunk on it, so I think we're good to go on that one. A little fig, and out here, there are deer out here every night, and they will eat fig leaves, as you can see. There's not much they won't eat, but they don't tend to eat citrus, which I'm thankful for. This is US 942, a pretty young plant, and I've got a number of these, so kind of like them, but probably start fruiting in a couple of years. And another 942 up there. These are all seedlings. Morton citrange, some citrumelo, lemon, trifoliate hybrids. I put 3 in there together. I found that citrumelo is not as hardy as some of the other trifoliate hybrids, and I lost one. It was grafted last year, which kind of surprised me. So I planted 3 here together. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to be okay, but we'll see. This is a kind of an oddball. This is a seedling, Thomasville by Clementine, that I got from seed from a plant that I gave Joe in Augusta many years ago. It's not especially vigorous. It's pretty slow. and it got some swallowtail caterpillars on it, which I had to get off of it. I don't normally worry too much about them, but on a plant that small, they can really do some damage. This is swingle, citrumelo or citrumelo. You know, this is the first time I've ever had swingle. I didn't realize I didn't have it because for many years I thought that was swingle, but it's not. That's the Monticello. And for a long time I thought that was swingle, but turns out it wasn't. So I wanted to get one. So there it is. And here's Monticello, and it just never seems to miss a crop ever. And the fruit is not as big as Dunstan. It's shaped a little bit like swingle. It has a little bit of a piriform shape. It is a little fuzzy, especially at this stage. And the taste to me is less like a grapefruit and more like a lemon. So non-citrus. This is a Silver Hill or Tiger Tooth Jujube, and you can see it's got a really good crop this year. Jujube is kind of bulletproof, and they'll ripen in about 2 more months. They'll start getting, and then they'll hang on the tree till about the end of October. These are a couple I planted this year. These are actually grafted. I'm gonna pull that off of there. This is a 058 citrange, which is a back cross. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but we'll see what it does. It's supposed to have a pretty good fruit. This is the one I'm pretty excited about. This is a 5-star citrumelo, which I think has its origin as swingle, but it's supposed to be an improvement over swingle. And you can see the leaves there. This one has done really well. I planted it earlier this year. It also is grafted, so looking forward to seeing what that will do. And while we're walking around, Guiambo persimmon. I'll get where the light's a little bit better, and you can see there we go. It's got a lot of fruit this year, always does. Guiambo is astringent, but when the fruit get fully colored in the fall, but while they're still hard, I will usually take them, cut them up and dehydrate them, and it makes a really good finished product. Kind of tastes like dates. We love it, and we're gonna have plenty of it. Look at all the fruit this year. I've got some fuyu at the other house. Actually lost this tree, fuyu, not to the cold at Christmas time, but to a late freeze. I'm convinced that that's what did it. That in March of 2023, it had already leafed out. This one had not. It was holding back. This fuyu had already leafed out, was blooming, and it went down to about 27, something like that, and it just never really recovered. It did fruit a little bit last year, but I could tell it was declining, and you can see it had bark split. Now, persimmons are pretty hardy when they're dormant, but when they break dormancy, they can be very tender. All right, and then we'll make one last stop over here at the Dunstan. Well, while we'll make a little detour, up ahead is Rusk citrange, and I've had this one for about 25 years too. I never have quite figured out what to do with the fruit. They're really pretty when they ripen. They're deep orange, almost red, and it's got a really nice crop this year. If anybody knows what to do with them, please let me know. And I've got to do something with all these pears too. Probably make some pear preserves. That one's coming off. But we've got soft pears, or European pears. These are more for canning right here. But we've got some, looks like some we have some Bartlett pears as well as the canning pears, apples and so forth. And last but not least is the Dunstan. There's the tree. Definitely the biggest citrus tree that I have. It's about the same age as the other mature trees out here. I want to say we planted it around 2003 or something like that. And I don't think it's ever missed a crop. It does tend to get, I'm not sure why, whether it's just this variety or where it's planted or what, but it does tend to get some scab on it. Never really tried to address it, but here we go. See the leaves on it. And lots of fruit on a golden afternoon in late July. So that's it for right now. As the season progresses, I'll continue to do some updates, and thanks for walking around with me. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and a happy gardening to all. Thank you.